Good evening, friends. Myself, Dr.Nidhi Darbari, on My Education Treasure. Today, in my present video, I am going to explain about the explanation skill of micro teaching. Explaining skills, the desirable teacher behavior and undesirable teacher behavior. The skill of explaining is there in the classroom situation when the teacher teaches some new lesson or topic, revising something, but one or two students of the class stand and ask the teacher to explain some points again. A social science teacher gives a topic to the student and then he explains the points using maps or pictures. Without the different audiovisual aids, his job might be difficult. In such a situation, the teacher is expected to be more active and the class just passive listener. A science teacher explains the point saying preparation of oxygen in the laboratory by showing an experiment, making his explanation more interesting. The student might find it easy to understand. A language teacher explains a line of poetry or stanza to the class for which he plays with the words and is able to make his teaching more and more clear and easy for the students. A good explanation is one which is understood by the students. There are 7 considerations for effective explanation. Is the explanation understood? Does it interest your class? Does it cover the main elements? Did you respond to your students' understanding? Did you classify the responses? Are illustrations interesting? Are illustrations relevant? Explanations can be what? That is interpretative explanation to make clear the meaning of terms, statements, situation, concepts, etc. How or descriptive explanation, description of objects, phenomena, structure or processes. Why, reason giving explanations, principles and generalization and causes. Explanation can be divided into desirable teacher behavior and undesirable teacher behavior. Desirable teacher behavior to ensure that students learn concepts, phenomena and generalization. The explanation should cover all the essential points that make the explanation complete. The desirable behavior useful in explanation are use of introductory statements. Before starting any explanation, the teacher makes clear the introductory statements announcing what is to be explained to make the students aware of what he is to teach on that day. The purpose of the introductory statement is to begin explanation and create mental readiness among the students to pay attention to the point being explained and give clue for the explanation and make the student alert. In lengthy explanation, there may be general sets of introductory statements. Use of concluding statements. Some statements are made at the end to conclude the explanation. It includes the summary of all the main results and to give the students a consolidated picture of what has been explained for ready reference to the explanation. It is also the inference drawn from logical reasoning in an explanation and help in structuring the ideas explained. For example, we should study today about the diffusion of gases. This is the introductory statement. All gases are completely mixable with each other. We know from our experience that when a bottle of perfume is kept open in a corner of a room, the smell of the perfume spreads throughout the room. This happens from the intermixing of the molecules of the vapors of the perfume with the molecules of the constituents of air. Mixing of gas is spontaneous. This phenomena is termed as diffusion of gases. This is the concluding statement. Use of visual techniques. As the famous saying goes, one picture is worth thousands words. The use of blackboard, chart and other visual materials are helpful in making explanation clear and help the students to understand the phenomena clearly. Use of illustration. Illustrations include citing examples and non-examples. Illustration must serve the purpose of concretizing the abstract concepts concerned. A new concept is to be adequately illustrated in terms of vital situation or life experiences. Making learning interesting to students. For an effective understanding of explanation by the student, it is essential to make it interesting by quoting examples from daily experiences of the students, using simple sentences, establishing premises properly, and using different media of communication. Covering essential points. The explanation given for the understanding of a given concept or principle should be as complete as possible, covering all the essential points leading to clear understanding of the desired concept or principle. The completeness is determined by the scope of the concept or principle as specified in the instructional objectives. Explanation should cover a number of attributes, non-attributes, generalization, interrelated concepts, and definitions. Testing students' understanding by asking questions. The effectiveness of the explanation can be judged by putting questions to test students' understanding and to what extent students have understood it after the explanation. This component, behavior, involves asking questions from the students to ascertain whether the purpose of explaining the concept or principle has been achieved or not. Meaningful repetition. By repeating a brief description of a concept, a term, or a definition at regular intervals, the ideas get fixed in the minds of the students. Repetition must be purposive, deliberative, meaningful, and relevant. As such, over repetition should not be used as it creates boredom to the students. Coordination in statements. Mutual coordination in the statement is very essential, otherwise, there will be all hodgepodge during explanation. Defining technical words. Sometimes, when a teacher is explaining a particular phenomena, use of some technical and difficult words, which, if not defined, would make the explanation beyond the comprehension of the students. It is difficult to study whether a new technical word is appropriate or not without being properly defined by the teacher. For example, when a current passes through a coil places in the magnetic field, the flux will change. Here, flux is the technical word which needs explanation. Comparing and contrasting. Some concepts are often so closely interrelated that the student may find it difficult to discriminate between them. These may bring effectively to the attention of the students. This component serves the purpose of discriminating between two related but different concepts. Explaining links. Explaining links in the form of words and phrases are meant for establishing continuity, for explaining a concept, phenomena, or principle. Some of these links, words, and phrases used for explaining are therefore, hence, thus, consequently, since, because, so that, in spite of, as a result, the function of, the cause of, due to, that is why, this is how, in order that, on the other hand, etc. These are words and phrases which are mostly conjunctions and prepositions and are generally used by the teacher to make his explanation effective. If you found the video to be informative and interesting, I request you all to please give a like to the video to motivate me, share it with others, and subscribe it so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get a notification. Undesirable teacher behavior. There are some undesirable teaching behavior which the teacher must avoid during explanation. The undesirable behavior useful in the skill of explanation are lack of irrelevant statement, statements which are not related to the phenomena being explained and which do not add to the understanding of the concept are known as irrelevant statements. They do not contribute to understanding, rather create confusion in students' mind and divert students' attention. Lack of fluency in language. Lack of fluency occurs when a break occurs in the sequence of ideas and sentences remain incomplete or are reformulated in the middle of an earlier statement. It also occurs when the teacher introduces a new idea, problem, or information without relating this to a previous topic or without showing the relation of what he has been discussing in the previous topic. This results in coherence and continuity is disturbed. The teacher should use fluent language so that the student may listen and understand the thoughts. Use of proper words and phrases. Words which fail to make something explicit and make the explanation less clear are known as vague words. The most common words and phrases which are in general use are some, many, type of, somewhat, a little, things, almost, might, perhaps, the rest, seems, which, may, few, actually, etc. It also includes words such as you see, you know, we know, correct. Using examples. These are central to teaching new ideas and to obtaining feedback as to whether the ideas have been understood. Examples may be used to provide concrete instances or information within the student's experience to lead students to perceive common features and to abstract generalizations appropriate to all the specific instances. To test understanding of an idea, concept, or principle. It may be applied to particular situations, for example, to produce examples of the general category, to determine whether a particular phenomena is an instance of the general relationship, or to use the general principle to solve a specific problem. Inductive approach. It starts with examples and infers generalization from them. Deductive approach. It states the generalization first and applies it to a number of examples. In all cases, it is essential for the teacher to use examples which are relevant to students' experience and interest and their present level of understanding. Effective explanation relies on illustration, analogy, and the use of example. For example, the cause of bodies falling towards earth is the gravitational force. For example, since or there will be a lot of humidity in the air during the rainy season, which is why clothes do not dry quickly. When an iron rod is heated on the one end, as a result of it, the other end of the rod also gets heated. Hence, iron is a good conductor of heat. The rulers of India were at petty enmity between themselves. As a consequence of it, the small army of British was able to defeat them. Thank you very much for patiently watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe.